Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome to a new video, and today we're going to talk about the upcoming solar eclipse on April 8th. And I've pulled some cards for it as well because I haven't pulled any cards for quite some time, and I thought I'd just like to get a little bit of guidance on that. So with all that being said, April the 8th 2024 is a solar eclipse, and the last one we had was 7 years ago. I saw a really interesting video today about the upcoming solar eclipse, and it said about the last one that we had was 7 years ago, which indeed it was. And the video, it was on the shorts, on YouTube for shorts, and it was regarding the number 7 quite a lot. And number 7 numerologically is usually to do with a level of attraction or abundance or creativity. And but this video was more talking about the return of God, the return of Christ. It was quite a religious sort of video, but it was quite interesting as well, so I will leave that at that. But cards, what have we got? We've got some really interesting cards actually. So the first card that I got from the tarot was Page of Wands, and yeah, very interesting. What I'm feeling from this is new beginnings, new career, new jobs, a new channel, a new way of being, maybe new things coming into your life, maybe new levels of abundance, maybe new belief structures, maybe new levels of awareness that are coming into your reality. Because as these things happen and these things come and go, we go through a lot of shifts. Personally, for me, this last sort of week to 2 weeks, I think, as we're building up to it, it's been quite heavy. Felt quite cluttered, the energy actually. It's felt like as though something big needs to come along just to have a bit of a spring clean. And that being said, I've been doing that a bit of that in the house anyway. And you know, we've gone into spring as well. But very much feels like things just need ironing out, putting to bed, with all this new stuff that's coming up, this new growth and new beginnings. I've just felt as though there isn't enough hours in the day to do anything. I've really struggled to do content on here, to be consistent with it. And yeah, and kind of like just my head has just been full of things that I need to do, things that I need to get done, things that are to do. The list seems to be kind of like ever growing, and so I think for me, it needs to be, I need to kind of like get back to basics a little bit, and I'm hoping these energies, when everything sort of like the dust settles, that it will get back to that, and there will be some lightness that comes from it. There's a lot of stuff out there about these big events that are going to happen, you know, these apocalyptic kind of things, and to do with the Hadron Collider and CERN, and those sorts of companies, and also a lot of stuff to do with you know, these powers that were, these names that go out there, and some of the things that they like to do on these astrological events as well, because you know, recently we've had stuff going on with King Charles and Kate and the royal family, and all of these events take place on, or the announcements are usually made on astrological events such as full moons, lunar eclipses, solar eclipses. You know, so there's a reason why these things happen, and there's a reason why, because they know how powerful these portals are, these transitions are of energy. So it's good for them to put that sort of stuff out there, because it has a bit of a knock-on effect, and it slows things down within the collective. But we're also going through a lot of powerful awakening stuff, and people are really stepping into their flow, really stepping into who they truly are, the things they want to listen to, the things they want to follow, the people they want to listen to, and the people that they want to follow as well. So there is real separation happening, and real split. And it's interesting because as I get shown in my mind's eye, this split, it's almost like when we look at a solar eclipse, you can actually see the split of two realities. You've got the light and the dark, and there's this huge split going around the outside. So it's quite a poignant message, really, to be shown that, to be given that. But Page of Wands, yeah, new beginnings, new growth. The second card that we got was the Eight of Pentacles. So, from these new beginnings, we need to build, we need to rebuild, we need to craft, we need to define who we are, we need to define the process, we need to put the action into the energy. And because even though the energy is there and the energy can be put out there, we need to also put action to the energy to create. So we talk about new things, creation. He's there, he's creating, he's making what he needs to make, he's making his future, he's making his living. And there's a lot of stuff out there as well at the minute about new futures, about new civilizations, about new communities, about new ways of living. And we're really starting to see this new earth thing coming forward into fruition, quite big, quite powerful. Lots of change, lots of transition, big, powerful time. And again, with this split, with everything that's going on spiritually, physically, emotionally, and mentally, we're just going to see more of this, but we can't let it hinder us. We can't let it affect us on an egoic level. We've just got to ride it and just got to go with it, because the more we try and fight, the more we try and resist, the more we try and stand against what is already happening and what is already underway, the more that we will either be swept away with those emotions and create more turmoil within ourselves. And as the Buddha always says, just don't try and calm the storm, calm yourself and allow it all to pass. And that's kind of like where we need to be. We need to go back to these real humble, honest, beautiful teachings that have such spiritual significance with that. So yeah, new ways of being, new development, new craft, building a new future for ourselves, and individually as well. So not just the collective, but also individually, because whatever we do individually anyway has a powerful effect on the collective. We've really come into an energy of our own where we now know that whatever action we take and whatever we do, whether we class it as positive or negative, in that linear duality, that it is going to have an effect on all and on everyone. And again, this is why a lot of stuff that the powers that were and the royals like to do these things on these lunar eclipses, solar eclipses, astrological events, is because it amplifies the energy that they're putting out there. So the shock energy of the king, the shock energy of Kate, the fear, the worry, the anxiousness, the oh dear, all that sort of stuff. And I wish them all well. I don't wish them any hardship, but there is a reason why they do these things. And I've never been a royalist. That's why I don't do royal videos on here very much. But yeah, so there is always a reason, and there's always an action, and there's always a consequence as well to those actions. So yeah, interesting. We also got the Hanged Man, but the Hanged Man came out reversed. So it would normally come out that way, it came out that way, so he's upright. So the Hanged Man, when it's in normal position, is seeing things from an alternate perspective, from a different angle, from a different viewpoint, from a different way of being. The hangman is seeing him stood up vertically, so he's seeing things as they actually are. So we're seeing things through the physical eye, maybe through the mind's eye, but we're actually seeing them as they are, not from an alternate angle, not from an alternate way of being, because sometimes we need to just look at things for the way they are and not try to always look between the lines and look at things from an alternative angle, because sometimes that can also distract us. That can also take you away from your being, from your harmonious state. Because then when you're looking a little bit too deep into stuff and you're looking too far into the what, where, why, when and how, it can create that inner conflict, that inner egoic thing can rise up. It can create those emotions, the fear, the anxiety, all these things that can fire up. Whereas if we just look at it with human eyes, with a human experience, and from a grounded experience, if we stood upright and we're not upside down, we're looking at it from a grounded experience, a place of actual inner connectedness. So we can actually be looking at it in a more harmonious way of being, a more harmonious state. So you can look at things and look at life and look at your life, with the Page of Wands, with the Eight of Pentacles, with this new beginnings, the crafting, the creating your reality. You can actually look at all that with honesty, groundedness, openness, humbleness and oneness for yourself and for your path. And I think that's a great message for myself, to be fair, because sometimes we can just get swept away and we can get a little bit lost, and the mind can take over and we can feel overwhelmed, and we really need to just come back to basics, and just take things one step at a time. And really as well, something that when I talk to a lot of people, a lot of friends, a lot of healers, and we often say things to people that are the right things that they need. And we're really good, empaths and healers and sensitives, we're really good at giving other people help and advice. But we don't always listen to it ourselves, and we tend to take on a little bit more than we can chew. And so this is where, as well, this message of grounding, this message is going back to basics and doing what we preach and knowing what we know to help ourselves and to help others, and in turn help the collective, help humanity. The overriding card, I did pull an oracle card as well, but the overriding card is to just trust. Just trust the process. Just trust to know that it's all happening for the highest of good, the highest of intentions, and the universe and spirit and nature is so much more powerful than man, than anything that man can create. And as I said before, whatever actions are put out there always reaction, there's always cause and effect. And I think man and science need to be very careful sometimes with what they're dabbling with, as well as people that do things on cosmic events and put messages out there and put alignments out there. I think a lot of the time it has the knock-on effect, but it actually helps with the ascension, it helps with the awakening. And that's my true belief. I think everything that happens is happening for the right reason, because it needs to, because we're in these stages of cosmic awakening. It's not just people on Earth that's awakening. It's the universe. It's the energetic vibration of the universe, and there is so much more happening than just us right now in this reality. There is a lot more that's coming into into alignment, you know, and into fruition, into being, and that affects us all. It affects us all on some level. So it's interesting. It's interesting how it affects us all individually, what we feel, what we go through. Let me know. Drop your comments below. Let me know what you've been feeling, what you've been experiencing over maybe the last week as we run up to this solar eclipse. But I hope these messages give meaning. I hope they give a little bit of guidance for anyone that might be feeling some level of fear, but it really isn't anything to be fearful of. The last solar eclipse that we had, I remember actually I was on a train traveling somewhere for a management meeting, and it was amazing. It was wonderful to watch, and I watched it kind of pretty much all the way there. And then when I eventually arrived at the destination I was meant to be going to, actually no, I think I was on a train, but the place I was going to was where I eventually got fired from a job. So that's interesting. You know, when we talk about new beginnings, the new start, new growth, endings. So something has to end to begin, which, yeah, of course. But that's interesting that happened, because if that didn't happen, it wouldn't have stepped me onto the path that I am now. So a lot of growth can come from this. So a lot of growth, a lot of wisdom, a lot of self-development, a lot of self-awareness, deeper intuition. Yeah, powerful. It's going to be powerful. So be ready for it. But whatever happens, always trust. Always trust. The universe has your back. So, I hope you've enjoyed. Much love. Do take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in another video when I get a chance. Bye for now.